Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. So I've started giving away a miniature every month on my Patreon page, and since I record basically everything that I do at my workstation, I thought it might give me an opportunity to do kind of a long form video. So for the foreseeable future, every month I'm going to be painting my giveaway miniature and just showing you the footage in real time. I'm not going to edit it very much. I'll probably ramble on about history and miniature wargaming, and it will kind of be like almost like a podcast that you can listen to while you're painting, or if you really want to watch a mediocre painter paint, you can do that as well. Figured I might as well, since again I always have my camera set up while I'm painting. So hope you sit back and you enjoy as I paint a Victrix miniature. It is I think it's a German or maybe a Celt. I can't remember which sprue I got it from. But anyway, I hope you can sit back and enjoy the video. Alright, so here is the miniature we're going to be painting today. Got another Victrix miniature here. This is, I believe from actually just their Celt box. I thought it might have some German bits on them. That's one of the things I like about the Celt and German box. They're pretty interchangeable as far as the different pieces go. Which at first I was kind of annoyed that the bodies of the Germans and Celts were pretty similar. But, you know, it is great for swapping heads and weapons and things like that. So I got over my initial frustration. So let's go ahead and paint his skin tones first. I always love getting a nice looking skin tone going. It kind of sets the tone for the rest of the model. And then then I'll probably do his cape, because that looks like it's going to take some time. Starting off with what has been my usual concoction. I'm just going to do some pink flesh and mix that in with a burnt sienna dark skin. Again, I pretty much only use these artist acrylics now. I just love how smooth they go on the miniature. They're great. We'll want some of this eventually, and I do like a little bit of the yellow skin tone for mixing highlights. Don't really like it by itself, but it's good for highlights. Alright, so there we got our skin tones. Alright, so since this guy is Northern European, we're going to actually start with the lighter color. Usually if I'm doing Mediterranean skin tones, I'll start with that dark brown. Since this guy, again, he is going to be pretty white, he's a Celt, we are going to go ahead and use a lighter skin tone to start off. So let's just base. Got a lot of water on my wet palette here. This might take a few passes to actually get decent coverage, but yeah, this brush is betraying me. Don't have much life left in it. That is one thing I love about this paint, this artist acrylic paint, is really you just put them on the wet palette. I don't even really bother watering them down. They go on so smooth, you don't have to worry about them obscuring detail. It really is my favorite paint. Don't know how I painted without it, to be honest. Alright, let's see. That's gonna have to dry for a little bit, so let's at least sketch in. Let's sketch in the cape. So that's gonna take a lot of work, I think, the most on this model. So let's see. Let's start off with some blue. Let's go dark blue into like a pastel blue. mess. This is perhaps my favorite blue I've found out of any line, this Prussian blue, even though it's more of a phthalo blue, like if you are familiar with the typical art paints. It's kind of a bluish green. What the heck? Alright. And this is a new paint. I recently just got some more of these artist acrylics. Got some pastels, because I do like to paint in pastel for historical miniatures. It's kind of a more subdued tones. I think it works better. Let's just go in with some pure. Alright, let's just mark out. Come on, camera focus. Alright, let's just mark out where the shadows are going to be. Not really a lot of room to wet blend, so I think we'll just stick to layering. There's more open flat areas. It would be kind of nice to just get the base color done by wet blending this dark blue with this pastel. But we don't have enough real estate. Something like that, or maybe get down that ridge a little bit. There's one little ridge down here. Got the. I need to. I'm not even using a holder. What am I doing? I always have these hobby holders sitting at my desk, and I always forget to use them. Alright, it's going to be a little hard to get back in there, isn't it? Yeah, just go in there sloppy, who cares? Alright. And I'm going to switch brushes because that brush is awful. Like, got these Bombwick brushes, and they're cheap. Like, they're like half the price of a Winsor Newton or Raphael brush, but they don't last very long. It only lasts me like a month, and it already lost its edge, so it's about to be a blending brush. So, unfortunate. I was really hoping I found an alternative to Winsor Newton and Raphael brushes, because they're kind of a pain to get a hold of in the United States. Winsor Newton, at least on like Dick Blick, is always sold out. If you buy them on Amazon, half the time they're knockoffs, and they are awful. And especially Raphael brushes, those 8404s, man. You get one off Amazon, there is a 90% chance it's a terrible knockoff brush that won't hold a point for anything. So I was glad we finally had a U.S. manufacturer of some decent brushes, but they just have not been holding up for me, so it's just kind of a shame. So we'll go back and use our old Winsor & Newton. Alright, getting some pretty decent coverage. All right. go back in on another pass this blue. Alright, now let's get some of this. Yeah, I'll do. You'll get to witness me now fighting for focus and painting my miniatures. I need to invest in a better setup, I think. I just have one of those desk mounts that bends and it doesn't give me a great angle. I recently got a new camera, so I should also get some better tripods and things, like a C stand for taking video one day. I can convince my wife to let me spend more money on camera equipment because I spend too much on miniatures. Alright, yeah, let's get. I do like this Pastel Blue. I think it's a nice color, even though it's pastel, it still is pretty rich in pigment. I think it goes well. It's a highlight for this darker blue. It's the first time I've used it, so hey, I like it. I figured I needed to invest in pastels now that I'm totally done with Vallejo. They're kind of the king of the historical pastel colors. But I just can't use Vallejo anymore. I've had too much trouble with the consistency in the paint and the pigments separating. Hard to get good glazes. I haven't been able to wet blend very well with them, so pretty much just have a box of Vallejo that's being untouched right now. I probably shouldn't have bought the entire line before I then quickly decided that I didn't like them anymore. Alright, that's kind of a nice initial sketch. Kind of like that. I think that'll be pretty good to highlight. Doesn't look terrible right now. We probably won't have to do too much blending, just a few more glazes on there. Alright, let's get back to his skin though. Let's go in with some pure pink flesh now. Now, I'm kind of glad I've been painting a lot of Kingdom Death and 40K miniatures recently. And that's nice because it gets me prepared for all these crazy face details that are on Victrix models. Usually, historical models, the face doesn't have this much. Doesn't have this much detail in it. This brush is giving me problems too. What is going on? Skin was probably the thing that took me the longest to get decent at. I think I tried just about every brand of paint and just couldn't find tones that I liked until I came across the Scale 75, the old Game Color line. It was nice because it had so many paints in it, you could really test out different tones, different layers. Never quite liked the GW, like Kislev Flesh and whatever their triad is. Never liked that. Didn't like Reaper. Tried Reaper. I do like Reaper's Flesh Wash a lot, but did not really like the tones. I feel like they either go too yellow or too pink. What's good about the Scale Color line and the Artist Acrylic line from Scale 75 is that you get both. You get an assortment of yellow flesh and pink flesh, and you can really mix and match the tones, get really nice results. What's going on? Camera focus. For a very long time, I just used my phone to take all my video, and I finally got like a nice mirrorless camera. But man, there's a learning curve on those things. As someone who never dealt with cameras before, it's been quite the learning experience, but when you're able to focus, it's night and day between the difference between a cell phone and what you can crank out with an actual legitimate camera. Come on. Let's do another layer of pink flesh. One thing that's really helped me recently with my skin tones is doing lots of, what do you call it? Just making little dots instead of making large sweeping brush strokes for your skin tones. Stippling, there we go, that's the word. At least for me, I find that it gives a more realistic look. You know, skin isn't perfectly one tone. And it also is very forgiving for you as a painter. So you don't see like these harsh transitions and paint brush strokes. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out the best focus. I've been painting a lot of large models recently, you know, with the Nurgle demon thing I had, so I set up for that, and getting used to these smaller historical models is giving me some trouble here. So how far can I go with folks? Alright, so going up, that's the problem. Try to keep them lower, I guess. Alright, now to highlight up, gonna take a little bit of golden flesh, mix it into the pink. I don't like to put a lot of yellow skin tones into pink skin tones. I think they look a little weird. Just my opinion, but mixing together, I find it's a nice initial highlight. Just touch the eye. Alright. Maybe we'll do another layer. Kind of did a little sloppy job here up on his forehead. I'll have to come back and correct it. See what I can do here. I think I had a little too much water on my brush when I went in. Man, so much detail on these faces. Let's see. Alright, let's mix some pale skin tone into that concoction that we had. It's pretty. I need some more pink in there. There we go. Now we're really going to just be doing stippling mostly. Little dots here and there. Yeah, that's fine. Now I'm just going to be focusing mostly on his upper cheek, his nose. It's kind of T region they call in the face, right? It's like your eyebrows, your nose, and your chin will be getting the highest highlights. And then everywhere else, just doing little dots. Back to his hand. One thing I do say about hands is that I always find it looks better if you make like those the bones at the top of your hand, make little lines going down the hand. Luckily on Victrix they're actually modeled, but on a lot of historical miniatures that little bone, tendons, whatever they are, aren't usually modeled. And so your hands can look a little weird if you don't put them in my opinion. Take everything I say with a grain of salt. I'm very mediocre. Alright. Alright. It's looking decent. Now, excuse me. Now, I don't usually like to use washes on my skin tone unless I feel like I've obscured some detail or they don't look great. I think I'm going to have to do that here because his forehead regions is looking a little strange to me. Yeah, let's go on with some pink flesh, just pure pink. It's a little too dark right there, I think. Yeah, that looks better. Go back in with the last highlight color. That looks better. All right. Going in with pure pale skin. Again, we'll hit that T real hard above his eyes, edge of his nose, chin, and just a dot on each of his cheeks. back to his hands, his knuckles. Oh, that's kind of a lot. Oh. Well, I went a little heavy on his knuckles there. That's all right. Now, one thing I know some people question on is, why do you paint him with the shield on? Isn't that so much work? Nope. I think it saves me a lot of work. I can just kind of call it in, all the clothing and stuff behind him. Since no one can really see it, cuts down on some time. I used to paint all the shields and such separately, and God, it adds, what, 15-20 minutes maybe to your model. Alright, you know what, I think I need to do a glaze of some Reikland Flesh Shade. Let's get some water on there. Wipe off the brush. Do the thumb check. Oh yeah, barely on there, and then let's do his hands too. All right. I want to go back to this. I love cloaks. I don't know what is about these things, but they're always my favorite part of a miniature to paint. Usually because they're so unique, like the shape of them. You get to practice lots of different highlighting techniques. Yeah. And I think they just make, you know, your model look a little, I don't know, makes them look a little more fashion sensible, you know, a little more regal, if you will. And I do appreciate when manufacturers do give you lots of nice waves and motion to the clothing, because it's much easier to paint. I don't know if that's why they do it, but it does mean you can layer it, get decent looking results without having to worry about blending you know, too much. You know, that's pretty good result already. Just start mixing in some ivory in there. I could probably use a glaze over here. Just a little glaze just to help that transition a little bit. And maybe a little in there. Go in there too. Alright. I guess I should worry about the front of his cloak too. Oh, let's go get up in here. Not going to worry too much about back here, but got some semblance of some highlights back there. It'll be, there you go, look fine. Let's see, that's pretty easy over here. Oh, good. I was worried I forgot to paint his neck skin tones. That would be unfortunate to have to go back and paint. We'll just skip the intermediary step, go straight into the Pastel Blue because it's going to be a pretty harsh transition anyway. It's just these really small little folds. Alright. Enough. Oh. Hit the camera. I like that. I like that blue. Nice color. Now, old me would have went and researched whether this was actually a legitimate dye for an ancient Celt. Glad that doesn't worry me as much anymore. I used to be really crazy about that. I'd like read up on the literature of ancient dyes. You know, for my Romans, I spent so much time trying to get a madder red dye that actually looked accurate, and then in the end it looked pretty awful. You know, I think that's one thing that is a benefit to doing some fantasy stuff, is for once you can kind of get out of like, is this historically accurate? Because that is kind of consuming as a historical wargamer. A lot of us are really concerned about historical accuracy, and it kind of gets in the way of actually painting things that you like to look at, which is at the end of the day most important. There we go. Man, these Victrix models are just great. I love these things. I was worried with historical plastics because for so long they were not the best quality. Not to call out a company by name, but I will. You know, Gripping Beast, they kind of pioneered, I think. I mean, Victrix has been doing this for a while too, but Gripping Beast, I think, kind of pioneered the... I mean, Perry, I guess, was around for a while, but at least in my circle, I started seeing Gripping Beast plastics more than anything else. And there's some things I really liked, you know, like the face and hands were always very well sculpted, even better than some of the best metal miniatures. But the poses were just so boring, especially with the like shield arm in the same position on every model on the sprue. And it was like that for years. And I'm happy that more historical miniatures are going kind of like the, you know, GW route of giving you more options, more poses on a sprue, having some arms that are detachable that you can put in different configurations. Even in this, what I thought was cool is they have some hands on the Celts and the Germans. Let's see, is that too much? That might be too much of a jump. They have some hands on the Celts and the Germans that they're left hands that you can actually cut off. The hands that appear on the torso sprue. And you can add these hands that are holding, you know, javelins, so that you can create kind of skirmishers out of quite a few of your models. So that's cool. That's something that I hadn't seen in a lot of historical models. And I think at least with historical accuracy, they're doing a pretty good job, especially with their new releases for Victrix. I know for the Romans, I kind of felt like the Romans were, I don't know, too Hollywood. They didn't give you a lot of options for what actually appeared in the Roman army. It's all Lorica Segmentato, and more we're finding that Segmentato was not used very long and mostly only used by the Western legions, and scale and chain were very prevalent, but, you know, that's why I like Aventine, man. Aventine nails it with their historical accuracy on their models. They give you so many accurate options of armor and things that maybe most people didn't know about. Alright. I don't know. I felt like I jumped too much. there with that. Putting some ivory into that pastel blue. I have to go back. Let's see if I can. Yeah, that's getting too light. Dang it. Let's go back and get some glaze on some of that darker blue to tone down. Yeah, having a pretty harsh transition there. All right, let's wet blend this sucker. All right, let's get put some pastel down. Let's get some blue down. All right, wipe off our brush. And then let's get in there and get those colors a little mixed. Still pretty harsh right there. Come on. Yeah, that's better. All right, now we'll go back in here with some. Going with kind of a mid-tone color, some harsh transitions around here, which I might not worry about if I were just painting this for myself. But you know, when I'm giving this to somebody, I want to make sure I'm doing some decent work. It's coming out all right. Oh, missed a spot. Alright, now let's go back with that highlight color now. Shall we start making some little texture marks maybe? I don't know why I like doing this so much, but I started putting these little textures onto my clothing, mostly because I saw Sam Lenz do it. And he is the master as far as I'm concerned. The guy is just brilliant. I mean, alright. So my camera cut out. I didn't realize it, so amateur hour here. Lost some of my footage, but basically just finish up this cape. We're just taking some pure white. Just doing a few dots down the ridges. Getting that high highlight. Not worrying too much because we'll varnish it down. Won't be a big deal. I think it looks good just having a little, you know, from a distance especially, gives it a good look. So there we go. And I also admit you missed my beginning work on this tunic. So I'm using a wood brown from the Artist Acrylic range, which is a grayish brown. It's a really cool color. I wish more miniature companies used it. Use gray colors for their wood colors, because obviously when you like look at bark, there's lots of gray. Instead, they usually use like dark reddish brown, which I don't like. But so, anyways, I just took some of this this brown, this gray brown. I laid it down as my base color, and then I've just been layering up with kind of a beige color. I'm going over here with a glaze of that original brown color just to tie it in a little bit. I jumped up, I think, a little too quickly to that beige color, and there was some rather harsh transitions. So I am going to glaze it down, build it back up, So you'll at least get to see that process kind of again here as I work towards getting this kind of smoother blend. Again, still getting used to this new camera. It's really good, but it does have like a maximum recording time. I always forget about that. I'm sure there's a way you can change that, but I am a boomer and I don't know how to work my camera yet. But I'll get there. So, you know, you missed 5 minutes of me layering and me rambling on about who knows what. Alright, let's go back in and some ivory back into the gray brown. I haven't used this color combination before and I really kind of like it. I like how it looks. I think the colors complement each other well, which I figured they would be. They're like two nice warm colors. I actually haven't used this buff before. I used to mix my own buff kind of color with some yellow and brown, but I bought a bunch more of the Scale 75 Artist acrylics because I love them. I have been kind of doing a challenge where I want to get better at color theory. So my color theory was pretty poor, knowing what colors to choose in which situation. And so when I got the Kickstarter of the Artist acrylics, I got like 10 colors and then the skin tones, and I said I am only going to paint with these for, I don't know what I do, like 6-7 months. Any other color that I don't have, I am mixing. And I mean, I had most of the basic colors, but I didn't have all the, I had the entire range of Vallejo and much of the Scale 75 game color range. I had hundreds of paint bottles, so I could always just pick what I wanted to go with, just pick a triad of colors, boom, 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 layer it up, get decent results, but I feel like you can get much more contrast, much more interesting looking paint jobs, especially more unique looking paint jobs if you mix all your own colors, because they're always going to be a little bit different. Now if you're painting a big army and you want the uniforms to be exact, if you're painting like some Napoleonics, you need a certain color Prussian blue, then mixing your paint is probably not for you. But that's what I like about Dark Age miniatures is there were no really standing armies, so you get to paint their clothing however you want. Everyone can look unique. It's kind of cool like that. You could do that with a lot of ancient antiquity armies too. Even the Romans didn't have the most exact uniforms as far as like what their tunics were and things like that. I think we're getting pretty good result here pretty quickly. Again, thank you Victrix for putting all these folds and stuff in these clothes. You just layer them on and they look fine. I don't have to worry about blending or, with a lot of miniatures, even, some of my favorites like Aventine, there's not a lot of texture on the clothing, so you have to like make your own folds in the clothing with paint, and it takes a little while. Victrix, man, every small little detail's in there. All right, let's go with pure. Let's get close to our final highlight. Let's go with pure buff. Start it. Let's just pick those tops of those ridges. This might actually, I have to check. Is this the German body? I know that's a Celt head. I'll have to look at the sprue. I did like mixing them together because, the Latin Celtic culture had such a huge impact on the ancient Germans as far as their weapons and armor goes, that they're kind of interchangeable. Like the Roman ethnographers couldn't even figure out oftentimes who was a German and who was a Celt. There's some speculation that the Helvetii, some people think they're Germans, some people think they're Celts. The Belgic clans too. There's some debate among what really they were. You know, the Romans weren't exact as far as how they characterized their, barbarian neighbors to the north. And so I kind of like the ambiguity by mixing pieces from the boxes. You know what? That's a pretty good looking tunic. Maybe a little bit up here. Ah, that's way too light. Let's get that. Yeah. There we go. All right. Now, let's get a little bit of ivory in there. Let's go real. Let's do our little dots and little texture marks. Hit the camera. What I like about this paint too is I have this pretty thin, and it has pretty good coverage. What I do is make passes with it. Alright, let's do a little dot in there. I keep forgetting up here. Ooh. Totally forgot the top of his arm. All right, let's see here. You know what? Let's go pure white. A few dots here and there. I don't know why I ever think that I'm not going to do this. I was thinking, I don't want to go with pure white. It's going to be too stark of a contrast, and then I always end up doing it, so whatever. At this point, I'd rather have more contrast than perfect blends is kind of where I'm at right now in my miniature painting. Well, like when I first really started painting, it was a time where people were like, you don't want to show brush strokes, at least like at the top pros. Like, you got to get like the most silky smooth blends, airbrush it. You want to make everything like airbrushed on. And maybe that's not what everyone's thinking, but that's the kind of feeling I was getting from the painting community. At least the top painters. But now I like that. I like my things to look painted by brush. I like that. All right. I think that tunic's decent. Do I want to go in and try and darken it at all? You know, let's see what happens if I just take a little bit of that burnt sienna, mix it in with that brown. I don't know about this. This might look weird. Let's put it somewhere on his backside. Let's see how this will look if I reinforce shadows with it. It don't look terrible. Alright, yeah, I'm going to use it several places. Very thin. I'm just doing little lines. There we go. Give it a little more contrast. Picking the darkest folds, hitting it. A little bit of that darker brown. Alright. There we go. Alright, what are we going to do next? Alright, let's get back to the shield. We'll one day get that to white. Do want our shield transfer to look good. Alright. Let's see. Pants. What was I going to do with this pants? Oh yeah, that's right. I want to try some more new colors out. Got some raw sienna, raw umber, sorry, moss green. It's another reason why I like these artist acrylics, so I can feel fancy, like I'm a, actual like canvas artist, because all the names of these paints are like traditional. Well, at least most of them are traditional paints that you'd see in like fine art. So, as I'm talking about phthalo blue, I feel super pretentious. It's pretty cool. These two greens. I don't know. I don't know how these are gonna look. Let's mix a little bit of them together. They're pretty stark. One's warm, one's cold. I don't know how this is gonna work. We'll see. Pants might look awful. Ooh, that's pretty green. That is pretty green. That's alright. Might also do some stripes, like I gotta do something to make this guy look Celtic, and Celts are known for their awesome pants, stripes and plaids. Really don't want to paint plaid on these because there's a lot of texture. Maybe some stripes. We'll see. I don't know. It's kind of hard to get to some of these places. Yeah, especially behind the shield. I don't know. Maybe this guy's a plain Jane. Sorry, buddy. I gave you a nice cloak. I don't think I'm gonna do anything with your pants. We'll see. We'll see. If this green color turns out weird, stripes might help hide the fact that the miniature doesn't look that good. Just another experiment. Man, this is making me really want to paint up all my Celts and Germans. I got like 80, 90 of these suckers. I had a box of each of the Celts and the Germans. And man, the Dacians are coming out, or was it Dacians? I should know how to pronounce that, people. I have a colleague that's wife's from Romania. I guess I could ask him. We'll go with the Roman pronunciation, Dacians. Yeah, whatever. Anyways, they look so cool. They have a lot of really cool Falx models, the two-handed scythes that the Dacians used in battle. They look really good. I'm going to kind of I want for my early Imperial Romans, I want them to have kind of just a mix match of all the barbarian opponents that they would have fought at that time. So my enemy for them is going to be kind of a weird mix of Germans, Celts, and Dacians. Which, I can always say, hey, these Dacians are mercenaries for the Celts, or Celts, obviously inhabited the areas around Dacia, so they could easily be allies. Same with the Germans, so, it's not too anachronistic to have all of them in an army, especially since now I have a lot of, like, Dark Age Saxons and Germans in my ancient army, which really is not accurate, so it'd be good to get these guys painted up. But I do have that campaign of Dux Britanniarum going on right now, so it's kind of hard for me to get to these guys. So I'm glad I got to paint one of these guys up. This is actually the first of the Celts and Germans that I've painted. I knew they'd be awesome. And now this really wants me to makes me want to just go and paint all of them. But we'll have to wait. I have a lot of Dark Age Saxons and Romans that I have to paint. I can't start a new project. I have way too many projects. I have tons of Kingdom Death models that I've been trying to paint for years now. But I'm always afraid to, because God, they're beautiful models, and I'm always afraid I'm going to screw them up. So they sit on my shelf staring at me, judging me. I have a 40k army that I've tried to finish over 3 editions. I am looking forward to this new 9th edition. One of the reasons I didn't like the last edition of 40k is because terrain was non-existent. It was garbage. As someone who, builds terrain, likes terrain, I hated terrain, how it did nothing except line of sight block. It's so dumb. Everyone had these awesome terrain collections of hills and trees, and you just chucked them because they did nothing. So I was happy to see that they remedied that terrible oversight for 8th. I mean, I did like the models they released during 8th, especially, obviously, the Death Card. I did a few videos over the Death Card. I want to fish them up. I have this sweet creature caster Plague Angel that I'm using for Mortarion, because I think Mortarion, the actual model, looks silly. So I'm going to paint him up. Actually, I'm going on a little vacation to visit my parents. I'm going to paint him up while I'm gone. That will actually get me close to finishing my 2,000 points for 40k. He's quite a bit. Anyways, I only got a few games of 8th edition, and I'm hoping to get a few more. So I do like the game. I mean, I do consider myself more of a historical gamer, but 40k is kind of nice. It's nice having like these massive heroes and monsters going out and doing stuff other than, just nameless foot slogging soldiers that you have in your historical armies doing all the grunt work. More accurate, but it's nice to get some heroic battles in there every once in a while. So we'll see. And then, of course, my Roman project that is 10 years going. And to be fair, I do keep adding models to it. I use it to simulate battles in school for my classes. I teach Latin, so we do the Battle of Mons Graupius in Scotland every year. We learn about that in my Latin 3 class. And I've been trying to get this early Roman, middle Imperial Roman army done for so long, but I keep adding more units and units in there. So we'll see if I ever finish that thing. So basically I need to stop creating new projects for myself, but I don't know. I don't see myself doing that anytime soon. I don't know about these pants. I'm not really digging on these colors. I started mixing some buff into this. What is this color? This raw umber. I think I probably should have just started that and used that as like a khaki base. I just don't like that dark green color. I guess we could. Let's see what happens if I just put a filter on it, do a little glazing of that umber color. What the heck is that sound? All right. Yeah, that looks better, I guess. I think I might paint stripes. I kind of feel like this is a miss. What's up, dear? What's the matter with it? Yeah, what's up? Yeah, I'll try and fix it. All right. I'll be up in a few minutes, okay? For what? Okay. All right. I'll try and fix it. Okay. I'm painting just a little bit longer. All right. Can you go upstairs and I'll be up in a minute? You like them? There are no girls in this army. Sorry. Not for these guys. We'll paint some Kingdom Death, some girls later. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm doing a video right now.
Wait. You're not for the video.
No, yeah, this is for a different video.
They are only for boys.
This video, yeah, basically all my videos are only for boys.
No.
Shout out to the 3 girls that watch my channel. Yeah, no, we'll paint those models here soon. Where are they? Got some nice Kingdom Death. My girls want to paint some Kingdom Death.
Wait, you
Death
got
models.
Girls already?
Yeah, I got girls. Yeah.
Got
So
several?
we'll see. We'll get those painted soon.
You got several?
Yep.
What do you need more than?
All right, guys, go upstairs and I'll fix the internet. All right, I'm almost done here. I'm just trying to finish up this video. Okay. All right. All right. See you guys soon. Let me know when Lydia wakes up. Okay. All right. Oh. Yeah, these legs are a mess. I don't know. What am I gonna do here? I do not like these legs. I don't want to. It's gonna get too matchy if I just go straight up to buff with these guys. Oh well, let's just keep going. Maybe I'll do some like yellow stripes or something. I'll just do a few more layers of this. Might turn out okay. Just leave very little of that dark green showing, I think, is the key here. Maybe it won't look too terrible if I have it the highlight up to buff, just like on the tunic. I mean, the popping color that I want is the cloak. That's what I'm really looking for. The rest of the clothes are just kind of background to that, so it might be okay if they're a little monochromatic. I struggle with greens, I find. I can do like a good dark green, like almost a black green to like a dark hunter. Could do a pretty good one of those, but lighter green colors, I just do not do a great job in, especially khaki colors. I think I've talked about that on videos before. My khakis, either they turn out too yellow, too green. Haven't quite nailed that part, but anyways, I don't know. Not hating the legs as much anymore. And if you're wondering, yeah, the base is all messed up because I took this guy was on a 20mm base. I figured though, if I'm giving this to someone, I don't want a dinky little 20mm base, so rebased it on a 32 I had lying around, but it also had a little bit of texture on it, so yeah, we'll clean that up at the end. Probably off camera. As we base them up. How do I feel about these legs? I don't know. Alright, let's go up to pure buff. Oh, what am I doing? I'm getting out of focus. There we go. Alright, what else do we need to do? Actually, I think I want to go, let's go up to this buff mixed with white, just do a few dots. There we go. I don't know, they look alright. I don't know if I'm going to use this color combination again. I think it might have been better if I went with like kind of a warmer brown mix with that green, that raw umber. Should have known that a cool green would just look weird, but you live and learn. I do not think I want to draw stripes on those pants. There's so many folds in them. I think that would be really frustrating. So, no. Alright, what should we paint next? Alright, what hair should we go with? I think blonde. We could even do those like frosted tips that the Celts wore. Never tried painting those before. But yeah, I think we're gonna go with a blondie think that red hair, orange hair would clash with that. I don't like orange red combination with blue. I know they're like complementary colors or whatnot, but I think they look bad together. So we'll start off. You know what? I want to go lighter. I want to start off with a lighter base brown. I want to go with burnt sienna. I want them to be a little more blonde. And then, yeah, I think I'm going to try frost near tips. The original boy band, the Ancient Celts. I mean, that's, if you think about the fashion statement of these guys, I mean, this guy's wearing a handlebar mustache with some frosted tips. Like, that's not a clash of different aesthetics. I don't know what it is. I always like to use browns with my blonde hair. I just think they show up a little bit better as you highlight them. I think if you start with a yellow, you don't have much room to go as far as they're highlighting. And they usually look pretty one-dimensional, the colors. So if you start with a brown, I often like little reddish browns. And you'll cover most of this brown color up, but a little bit of it will show through and give some nice dimension. There we go. Oh no. You fool. You got it on your cloak. Yeah. Dang it. Wasn't careful enough. Alright, let's see. There's a lot of texture in this guy's hair. It's hard to get even watered down paint into all those crevices down there. Don't get it on this cloak. Yeah, I don't know. Dude, your hair is too spiky, my friend. Alright. And then let's see here. Let's get some metals going. Start off with burnt iron. Let's get burnt iron. What's this? Where's my gun metal? Silver and chrome. All right. Let's start with burnt iron. I like to use this as my base color. This Vallejo metal color. They are awesome. Also because they go on super smooth. They're horrible for dry brushing though, because they are they have a lot of flow to them. So I always like to keep a silver of another company around just for that. But I mean, the coverage and the... Oh, shoot. Dang. And once you get them on something, though, they don't come off. Oh, man. Not paying attention. Getting metallic paint all over skin tones. That's like the worst thing that can happen. Alright, it's alright. It's cool. Dang it. Getting sloppy. Shoot. I'm trying not to curse because I want to monetize this video, not gonna lie. Dang it, Metallics, you almost got me demonetized. You know what, maybe I don't like Vallejo Metal Color all that much anymore. Stuff is hard to get off. You get it anywhere it's not supposed to be. And I know some of you out there would say you should have base toned your metallics before you went and painted your skin tones. And you're probably right. That is unfortunate. You know, let's put it on his belt here too. And a little clasp right there. We'll make that. God dang it. All right, we got our burnt. Oh, we got our burnt iron down. All right, let's go with our gunmetal. So dark tone. All right. I'll be up soon, okay? Okay. Put the dark spot in the middle. Let's go to silver. Check that up. Now we'll go in the middle here. Let's do some stippling here. All right. We're going in. All right. Oh, getting out of focus. Where are you? All right, let's. Let's see here. Just go straight up to silver for this. See if I can. All right. You know, I want a little bit of dark gunmetal around there. There we go. All right, it's chrome time. All right, gotta be really sparing with this. Stuff gets real bright. This little touch on the inside here, along the edge. Come on, focus. Now, one thing I have noticed is I try not to varnish my metals anymore. For whatever reason, metallic, or the Vallejo metal colors, when you varnish them, man, the blends are awful. Like, they stand out like a sore thumb. I noticed that especially on my chainmail from doing these videos, because especially up close, you can really see it. There is a crazy transition between the light and dark metal colors. If you varnish them, they look way too matte. You know, you want a little shine to them, right? So if you matte varnish them, they just look real weird. So I try not to hit them with any varnish now. There we go. Just touch a few places on this buckle. You know, I want to hit the top here. Ah, got it. All right. All right. Let's go back to his hair. What color do I want to use for his hair? Where is it? Go yellow ochre, and then up to Naples yellow. And then frost them tips with some pure white. Let's see how quick we can fly through this hair now. All right. Do I want to mix it in? Yeah, I probably should do a layer mixed with the burnt sienna. That's a lot. All right. There we go. All right. Try and cover most of that. Okay, focus. Use the side of my brush. Actually, we should just go in. Just go in there.
Leia's awake.
Okay,
Can you come down here?
I'll be up.
Alright.
All right, my 2-year-old terrorist is awake, so it looks like I'm going to finish this tomorrow. Let's see. All right, come on. Let's get this first pass at least through. All right. All right. Alright, so let's go ahead and paint his belt. I'm going to start off with a burnt sienna color. We're going to do a red leather on here. I think that'll look good. Let's see. Alright, I think we'll also do his shoes with this. I really like this color. It has very good coverage. Usually I'll have to do one coat of it. Alright. Again, if you can't tell already, big fan of these artist acrylics. I should probably do a video on why these are great beginner paints. Because really, as I was saying before, you only need a couple of them. They have like a basic colors set. It's like 6 paints, and then I would say also get the skin tones, because mixing skin tones really hard, at least in my opinion. Get those two. It's what, 12 paints. Set you back like 40, 50 bucks, and a little more with euro conversion, maybe 60 bucks, and you can pretty much make any color you want. They mix so well together, all these different artist acrylic paints. Should I go ahead and, let's start. Let's just paint the back of his shield. Also this brown color. At least as much as we can reach. You know, let's just, I think those are supposed to be metallic, those pieces on the back, but I don't want to paint them. Alright, let's mix in some red ochre. It's like a kind of like cavalry brown if you know your Vallejo colors. Nice red brown. And we'll just leave the edges of the leather that dark brown. Alright. Let's see. I need to get back in here. Put on leather. Alright. Now I'm going to go with that pure red ochre. Focusing mostly on the middle section here, just getting a nice little. I always tell myself I should paint the leathers before I paint the clothes beneath it. And I always forget, so I always end up getting paint on my tunics. Alright, just get a little in there. And then just touch up a few places on the shoes. Oh, I missed a few little straps hanging down from his belt. Then as a final highlight, take some buff, a little bit of that, and maybe a little more. Mix it in. I want a very high, like, high highlight just along the edge, because I don't know if it's an edge highlight. I just want to run my brush along the edge here. Kind of like that. Well, there's a little distressed in a few places here. Just touching it. Do a little. Just hitting the top of the belt. And right here where it bends, let's see. Goes around the bayou. A few little marks on the shoes. You can use this to do a little some scuffs here and there. Just do a little stippling. Very good. Almost done with this guy. This guy is pretty quick, you know. I'm doing a say a better paint job than I normally do for historical miniatures, or at least taking more time. So, you know, 2-hour paint job on this detailed of a model, I actually think it's pretty quick, you know. Obviously, even though these are, I mean, Victrix models are pretty tall. As far as 28mm scale historicals are still nothing compared to, like, I don't know, Space Marine by GW. And those things take me forever. Take me forever to paint, but this has been really pretty painless painting this guy. I really enjoyed it. Messing up my wood grain. Just doing little streaks. I'm not the best at this. There's actually no texture on the back. It's one thing I like about footsore miniatures. It's on their shields. They do a good job of giving you that texture to paint. Just going in with a little bit of actually the wood color, which is like a grayish brown mixed in with that kind of red. I don't know. I guess I'm going for like a cherry look to the shield. I don't know. Alright. Oh, I forgot to finish his hair. I knew I was missing something from where I left off yesterday. Do that in a minute. Let's get pretty much some pure buff. Put it down the middle. Yeah, it looks okay. A little more of that pure buff, just centering it, or focusing it on the center of these planks that I sketched in. I guess maybe they don't have texture because did the Celts have rawhide backing to their shields? They might. That actually, they probably did. The Romans stole their scuda from the Celts, and they definitely had rawhide backing. So, yep, I bet I shouldn't be painting this back. I should just do it the rawhide color to match my shield transfer, but whatever, we're too late. We've gone too far. That makes sense why there's no texture. I was about to say they did a good job of putting detail on everywhere else. Probably my fault. Didn't do the research. Alright. Well, let's just finish up this backing. Alright, let's finish his hair. Alright. Got some of that burnt sienna, Naples yellow. Gonna do another pass. Actually, let's get more yellow in there. There we go. Good texture on this hair too, easy to pick up with your brush. I'm liking this model. I want to do a full army with these guys. I really do. They're going to show up some of my lower quality pewter models in my barbarian army, that's for sure. Alright, let's go pure Naples yellow. I'm gonna hit just the, try and just hit the tips, just of this hair here. Yeah, that's a little too yellow, actually. Oh well. Let's go back over it with a little bit more. The toned down Naples yellow with the dark burnt sienna in there. Getting a little too blonde on me. God, I got a mold line. That's a terrible mold line through his hair. I will have to say, come on, Victrix, you should have not. It would have been better if you did the mold line going front to back. I know they usually this where the mold lines come, often on historical miniatures. But God, that's awful. I even think I tried to carve it out with a X-Acto blade, but kind of hard when he has the spiky hair to get rid of that mold line. Man. I didn't really notice it until I was painting it. Man. It's not the greatest. Alright, let's frost his tips. Let's do this. Alright. Make him look like, was it Calgacus from I, Claudius? Again, Not sure how accurate this, this is often depicted in Hollywood with the frosted tips. I don't really know, other than, I don't know, is there art depicting this? I don't know where the hell they got the idea that these guys did that, and what they use, like animal fat to get that white look to their hair. I don't know. I wonder if that's still the consensus that that's what they did. I know, like, people are starting to think that the Celts didn't use woad because woad is actually a terrible dye and it doesn't actually stay on your body very well, and apparently it can burn your skin. It's like actually pretty awful. So maybe, or the Braveheart woad was some other material. I don't know. Alright. Anyways, we're still gonna frost this guy's tips though. Ah. I don't know. I'm not really a big fan of how this will turn out. I might have to go back and paint over it. I don't know. It's kind of looking funky. Looks okay. Try to focus more on near the edge of each strand. Just maybe stippling a little more. Need a brighter white. No. Well, that looks alright actually. I'm just gonna go a little pure. I'll see how this looks. Don't think this looks distressed enough for me, this leather. Yeah, let's go with this pure pure buff. Doing little dots and streaks along the leather. Yeah, it looks better. Do a little few on the shoes. All right. Of course, paint up the shield, and I think the last thing we gotta do for this guy is put a few little pieces of brass on there, on his sheath, and gonna make the hilt of his sword brass as well. That should be pretty. All right, let's see here. Let's get our copper color. All right. This copper color is getting a little old on me. It's again Vallejo metal color. It's starting to like congeal. Haven't had that happen with any of my other metal colors from Vallejo, but definitely happened with this bronze coming out in clumps. All right. Do a nice layer of the copper. I like this Vallejo metal color, especially for doing gold colors, putting down this copper, because you don't have to base coat it with brown like you often do with other metal lines. You often wouldn't be able to get away with starting off with a kind of copper bronze metallic, which just won't work, or at least won't look that great. Come on, get in focus. All right, what else I want to do? The hilt of the sword. At least as much as I can get of it. We're not going to worry too much about this. It's pretty well covered by the cloak. Let's get a little on there. Oh, damn. All right. Kind of see it over here. Let's get some gold on there. Get this gold a better shake. Alright, let's go in there with just some Vallejo gold. We're not even going to really bother with too many layers of this, since it's just a little bit showing here. Alright. Now I'm just going to side my brush. Pick up a few details on that sheath. Let's see, where's my chrome? I do like for my high highlight for gold, I do mix a little chrome in there. And then you just put a dot where you want to highlight the gold, and it gives you a nice bright highlight. Like it's really glinting in the sun. Alright. Looking pretty good. Really, I just have to put a transfer on him and finish his base. It shouldn't take too long, and this guy's going to be done. So let's just finish this guy off. At least what I'll do on video here. I'm going to add a little bit of Reichland flesh shade down on that brass on his sheath to bring out some of that detail, because I just did a really rough job. And that should do it for this guy. Alright, let's get down in there. Yeah. Alright. Cool. Alright. Well, I'll finish basing it up and I'll show you the finished product, put the shield transfer on there and call it a day. I think it looks pretty good. Cool models, gotta say. I'm glad historicals are getting the plastic love. I do like myself a good pewter model, but you can't argue with the amount of detail that they're able to pack into these plastic sculpts these days and actually make them look dynamic. That's one thing that I used to feel was lacking in plastic historicals. They all looked pretty bland as far as their posing. But Victrix, V&V Miniatures, was that the War Games Atlantic plastics, all these guys putting out really high quality sculpts. Alright, be back in a minute.